Have you ever wondered why human life is beset with suffering and what could be the path to liberation? This, my friends, is the question of suffering, a conundrum as old as humanity itself. It's a question that has puzzled, tormented, and inspired thinkers across the ages. In the vast tapestry of human existence, suffering seems to be an inescapable thread. It's in the fleeting nature of joy, the sting of loss, the anxiety of uncertainty. Yet, what if I told you that there's a way out? A path to liberation from this seemingly endless cycle of suffering. This is where we turn to the ancient wisdom of Buddhist philosophy. A philosophy that doesn't just acknowledge suffering, but delves deep into its roots, seeking to understand it, to unravel it, and ultimately to liberate us from it. To answer these questions, we delve into the core of Buddhist teachings known as the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth acknowledges the reality of suffering in our lives. Suffering, or dukkha, as it is known in Buddhism, is not confined to physical pain alone. It takes on a broader meaning, encompassing a range of human experiences that bring about dissatisfaction, discontent, and a pervasive sense of unease. It is a fundamental recognition of the discomfort that characterizes our existence. Imagine the inevitable stages of our lives: birth, aging, illness, and death. Each of these life stages carries its own form of suffering. The joy of birth is often overshadowed by the pain and discomfort that precedes it. Aging, an unavoidable truth of life, comes with its own set of challenges and ailments. Illness, whether chronic or temporary, brings physical and mental distress. And death, the ultimate truth of life, carries the deepest sorrow and fear. Consider the pain of separation from our loved ones. It could be a temporary parting or a permanent goodbye. The suffering is real and palpable. Now think about the desires we harbor. Many of our wants and aspirations often remain unfulfilled, leading to a sense of dissatisfaction and longing. Each of these scenarios is a source of suffering, a testament to the first noble truth. However, acknowledging this truth is not about fostering a pessimistic worldview. Quite the contrary. It is about understanding the reality of our existence. It's about accepting that life, in all its beauty and complexity, also comes with its fair share of challenges. It's about being honest with ourselves and not shying away from these realities. By acknowledging the existence of suffering, we take the first step towards understanding the nature of our existence. We begin to see life as it is, not as we want it to be. We start to appreciate the highs and lows, the joys and sorrows, the triumphs and trials that are part and parcel of our human experience. This truth encourages us to honestly recognize the inherent challenges in life. It invites us to face our fears, confront our anxieties, and navigate our disappointments. Only then can we truly embark on the path towards liberation and enlightenment. Understanding the cause of suffering forms the basis of the second noble truth. The second noble truth, samudaya, delves into the roots of our suffering. It shines a light on two primary culprits: craving, known as tanha in Pali, and attachment. But what are these entities, and how do they contribute to our suffering? Craving in its simplest form is an intense desire for something. This could be a physical object, a person, an experience, or even an idea. We crave because we believe that the object of our desire will bring us happiness or satisfaction. However, this happiness is often fleeting, and once it fades, we are left feeling empty or dissatisfied, leading to further craving. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? Attachment, on the other hand, is the act of clinging to these objects of desire. We become so attached to people, possessions, and experiences that we fear losing them. This fear, in turn, leads to anxiety, stress, and ultimately suffering. Now you might wonder, why do we crave and attach? The answer lies in our fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of reality and the impermanence of all things. We often forget that everything in this world is transient. Experiences come and go, possessions can be lost, people change, and eventually everything ceases to exist. Yet we continue to cling to these transient entities, hoping to find some form of lasting happiness or security. We build castles in the sand, knowing that they will be washed away. We attach our happiness to these ephemeral things, and when they inevitably change or disappear, we suffer. This is not to say that we should not enjoy or value the things and people in our lives. Rather, we should acknowledge their impermanence and appreciate them without clinging. By doing so, we can free ourselves from the chains of craving and attachment and the suffering they bring. In conclusion, the second noble truth teaches us that our suffering stems from our craving and attachment, which are born out of a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of reality. By recognizing and understanding these root causes, we can begin to navigate our way out of suffering. Attachment leads to a relentless cycle of desire, frustration, and suffering. The third noble truth offers a beacon of hope. It points towards the cessation of suffering. This truth, called Nirodha, is not a mere concept, but a transformative state of being. It offers a way out, a path to liberation from the torment of human suffering. This is the heart of Buddhist philosophy, the promise that suffering can end. At its core, Nirodha asserts that liberation from suffering is achievable by eliminating its root causes. It's like extinguishing a fire by cutting off its fuel supply. The fuel here is our own craving and attachment. When we cease to cling to transient experiences, possessions, and relationships, when we stop chasing after fleeting moments of happiness, we begin our journey towards profound peace and contentment. This peace and contentment is not a passive state, but rather an active, vibrant liberation. It's an awakening, a realization of the true nature of reality. It's the tranquility that comes from understanding and accepting the impermanence of all things. This state of liberation is referred to as nirvana. However, nirvana is not a destination or a reward. It's not a mystical land beyond the clouds or a heavenly abode where one is free from all worldly troubles. Rather, nirvana is a state of being, a state of mind. It's a profound understanding that leads to the cessation of the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, known as samsara. In this state, we are no longer bound by our desires, our fears, or our illusions. We are free from the endless cycle of desire and disappointment, of attachment and aversion. We experience reality as it is, not as we want it to be. We let go of our need to control, to possess, to dominate. We embrace the fluidity of life, the constant change, the inevitable uncertainty. And in this letting go, in this acceptance, we find true peace. We find true contentment. We find true freedom. Nirvana represents the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice, a state of liberation from the cycle of birth and death. It's a state of being where suffering ceases, not because the world changes, but because we change. We change the way we perceive the world, the way we interact with it, and most importantly, the way we understand ourselves within it. The fourth noble truth provides a practical guide to achieving liberation. It's called the Eightfold Path, a roadmap that navigates us through the complexities of life and towards the end of suffering. The first stop on this journey is right understanding. This is about viewing the world with clarity and wisdom. It's about understanding the Four Noble Truths and the transient nature of life itself. Next, we have right intention. This is about cultivating positive attitudes such as compassion, kindness, and empathy. It's about resolving to act with goodwill and avoiding actions that might harm ourselves or others. The third aspect is right speech. This is about communicating truthfully, kindly, and constructively. It's about refraining from lying, gossiping, or engaging in harsh or divisive speech. Then comes right action. This is about acting ethically and responsibly. It's about avoiding harmful actions like stealing, killing, or indulging in sexual misconduct. Instead, we strive to contribute positively to the well-being of others and ourselves. Following this is right livelihood. This is about choosing a profession that aligns with ethical principles. It's about avoiding jobs that inflict harm or exploit others, and instead engaging in work that contributes to the welfare of all. The sixth aspect is right effort. This is about committing ourselves to personal improvement. It's about making a conscious effort to cultivate positive qualities and abandon negative ones. Next is right mindfulness. This is about maintaining awareness of our body, feelings, mind, and the world around us. It's about observing without judgment, staying present in the moment, and not getting lost in the past or future. The final aspect is right concentration. This is about developing the mental discipline to focus our mind. It's about cultivating concentration through practices like meditation, which enables us to see things as they really are. Each of these 8 aspects work together, guiding us towards a balanced and mindful way of living. They help us overcome craving and attachment, the root causes of suffering. Following this path can lead individuals to the cessation of suffering. It's a journey, a process, and the destination is liberation. The Four Noble Truths form the foundational framework of Buddhism. They present a profound diagnosis of the human condition, acknowledging the existence of suffering and its causes, while offering a transformative path towards freedom from this suffering. The first truth encourages an honest recognition of life's inherent challenges. The second truth identifies craving and attachment as the roots of our discontent. The third truth, however, offers hope, asserting that liberation from suffering is possible by eliminating these causes. Finally, the fourth truth provides a practical guide to achieving this liberation, outlining the eightfold path of balanced and mindful living. These teachings emphasize personal responsibility, urging each of us to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Through understanding and practice, we can gradually overcome craving and attachment, leading to a state of profound peace and contentment. The teachings of the Four Noble Truths remain a timeless guide for those seeking to understand the nature of suffering and discover the path to genuine happiness and enlightenment.